Okay, first things first, I'm just going to double check with my colleague to make sure that she can see me. And as soon as she does, I'm going to launch into what we're doing. I think this is it. Yep, here we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Victoria Lougheed, and I work for Family Caregivers of BC. I'm the Education and Learning Lead, and I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live today around being flexible in your caregiving, because flexibility can help us with all of our caregiving choices, and it can also help us turn an obnoxious, or no, sorry, that was the wrong word, a bad day into a good one. Sometimes things just don't go according to plan, and so it's always good to have sort of a backup, something in your pocket, or even just an approach that lets you let go of things. Just to give you a bit of a history of me, I'm a caregiver myself. I look after a youth with special needs. I'm also part of the caregiving team for my mother-in-law, for my sister-in-law, who is an adult with special needs, as well as I'm a very distant support for my parents, who are in their 80s in Alberta. So there's lots of different aspects of caregiving that I have touched on in my life, and I want to share with you some of the tips and techniques that I have learned along the way, as well as some of the amazing resources that Family Caregivers of BC have to share. So I'm just going to pull up my notes, because nothing is worse than rambling without your notes. And I'm going to launch in to just talking a little bit about how flexibility can help. So we all know that caregiving requires an awful lot of planning and strategizing in order to keep things flowing smoothly. One of the biggest challenges that we can face as caregivers is having to adapt to unexpected changes. Those changes in the caregiving relationship can happen because of a sudden change in medical needs. They can happen because of sudden change in behavior or mood. They can happen because you or your care recipient are just having a bad day, or the weather's not cooperating. There are lots and lots of reasons why unexpected change can happen in the caregiving relationship. The trick is managing the change effectively. So what can we do when things suddenly have to change? Well, we adapt. It's one of the soft skills, actually, that family caregivers are best known for. And it's a soft skill that's usually picked up through tough experience, through learning in the process, and through hindsight. Things didn't go well one time, so you know better for the next time, that kind of thing. So in this Facebook Live, I'm going to give you some ideas, some tips, some tools, and some strategies for how to navigate when things unexpectedly change on you. We encourage you to build yourself a caregiving plan. We have some amazing resources on the Family Caregivers of BC website. In the Learning Center, under Read and under Watch, we have some amazing resources around building your own caregiving plan. But one of the things you'll want to build into that plan, and it's part of our resources, is some flexibility. So as a caregiver myself, I see the value in having a plan. It gives me room and time to include self-care activities that can ensure, for me at least, that I'm connecting outside of my immediate caregiving role. Caregiving can be very isolating, and it's hard to be spontaneous as a caregiver. And so a lot of the time we find ourselves saying no to those last minute invitations, or someone asking, hey, can you go out for coffee? And the more we say no, the more isolated we feel and the less people ask us. So work it into your plan. If I have it in my plan that I'm going to meet somebody once a week on a Tuesday, then it happens, mainly because I have to arrange it myself, but that's good because it means I'm putting myself out there and I'm not being isolated as a caregiver. So one of the challenges that I have around that, though, is that it can sometimes feel hard to plan when a caregiver or a care recipient is a little bit anxious or has high needs or has a really changeable mood. This happened a lot with my care recipient. And so I used to believe that there was no point in having a plan, and I've learned since that actually having a plan helps me even with the difficult pieces and the difficult choices. When she was younger, especially, things would change at a moment's notice. Things that would be good one day would not work at all the next. And this often was echoed by caregivers as I've done my reading through Family Caregivers of BC's resources. It's a sentiment that's echoed in caregivers for care recipients with dementia or Alzheimer's. Mood is very changeable, and so you have to be able to be flexible to work around that. When things change a lot from day to day, you have to kind of build that expectation that, maybe you won't have to do a thing that day, or maybe it won't come together that day, and that's okay. It's a bit of sort of forgiving the situation for not coming together the way you expected. So here are some ideas that may work for you when it comes to building flexibility into your plan. One of the things that you're going to want to do is ask for help. I know we say that a lot, but it actually really does work. Asking for help allows you to let the folks around you know that even though you're super capable, you're really, really very, very capable, help is always appreciated, and that there are roles that they can play for you. So letting family and friends be a resource to you in your caregiving is a really valuable tool. If you can't get out today because of a change in how your care recipient is doing or feeling, maybe a friend can do the errands that you had planned. Maybe that friend can pick up a coffee and bring it to your house instead of you going out for coffee. If you don't have someone immediately available, then look to some of the value-added supports and tools that a lot of shops put in place for COVID and have kept in place. Things like grocery delivery, pharmacy delivery, even something as simple as choosing food delivery that night instead of trying to figure out how to cook a meal when your care recipient is really needing your time and attention with them. Order it in, and you might spend a few dollars that night, but it's going to make for such an easier evening for you, as well as for your care recipient. The other thing that we offer through Family Caregivers of BC is the opportunity to support you with building a circle of care. This one does take some planning, and it takes some forethought. You will have to coordinate some things. If you do it through Family Caregivers of BC, we can facilitate the process with you, help you put the strategy into place so that that circle will come together for you. It's really worth the effort, though. Family Caregivers has a wonderful training program that we've just completed, and we have some facilitators on hand to help you with that. If you have a circle of care around you, then you can reach out to someone to brainstorm or to step in so that you can continue with what you need to do as a caregiver. The other thing that can help is knowing what items, activities, music, TV programs bring comfort to your care recipient. This is especially important when you're dealing with high levels of anxiety, when you're dealing with limited cognitive ability, limited mental function, when you've got things like forgetfulness, dementia, Alzheimer's. If you have their favorite things around them, and when they're struggling, just remind them. Put on a show they like, put on some music that comforts them. This works very well for me and my daughter. She has a lot of shows from her early childhood that she really goes to when she's feeling a lot of anxiety, and we always have those recordings on hand and can play them on the TV. We can also play them on her tablet and even on her phone when we're in the car, and that often will help dissipate an anxious situation. Another thing that can really help you as a caregiver is taking a moment. Take a breath right in that moment. Stop for a second. Close your eyes just for a second and breathe in a nice deep breath, counting all the way to 5, and then breathe it out, counting all the way to 5. If you can do it 4 times in a row, that is a big, big help. It's part of mindfulness. It'll ground you back into your body. It'll help calm your nerves, which are probably getting a little frayed, and it'll bring you into a good moment for yourself so that you can then turn and have a healthier, better perspective for your situation. Taking a moment can help your care recipient too. If you can guide them through a breath, if you can help them do a calming activity, if you can help them with something that will help sort of bring down their level of anxiety, that can help you both. Another thing that can help is being willing to just go with the flow. Okay, this activity we were going to do today, it's not going to happen. All right, let's see what else we can do. This is essential when supporting care recipients who have limited cognitive abilities, changeable mood, or unpredictable health. If you start each day with a flexible mindset and then bumps in the road aren't going to be unsettling you constantly when they happen. Another thing that helps is just letting go. Sometimes you don't have control over how that day is going to unfold, and you have to give yourself permission not to be in control. As caregivers, it is a strong urge to want to be in control of what's going on because you feel very much like you're the glue that keeps everything together. And it's true. And to be perfectly honest, when you have a day that's just sort of unraveling around you, sometimes there's nothing you can do but watch it unravel and hope for the best and tell yourself, all right, that's just what's happened today. When you have to let it go, sometimes saying to yourself a little thing like, well, this was today, but tomorrow's a whole new day, and tomorrow's going to be better than today. And that can help you find a healthier way to look at the way the day has gone. Sometimes you may need to find another way. Maybe the activity that you had planned or the thing that can't be done is a doctor's appointment, or it's a trip for a test or something. It's often really difficult to put those off. We have a lot of wait time in between if things get rescheduled in our medical system. And so it's something you may have to try and push through to get done. Sometimes if the first approach won't work, you may need to look at other approaches. You might want to look at bringing some of those calming tools on board. You may want to talk to health professionals if anxiety is part of the issue, to put things in place that'll make that test or procedure or blood draw even go a lot easier. In my situation, my daughter has extreme anxiety, and as a result, we learned through her pediatrician that tests, blood work, vaccinations, immunizations can all be done through the daycare programming at the local hospital. Now there's pediatric daycare, but there's also adult daycare. So if you know your care recipient doesn't take well to blood draws, or doesn't handle immunizations, or doesn't do vaccinations, like for us even that includes COVID and COVID boosters, if they don't do those well, you can go through the daycare and they'll bring in a very light sedative, help the person calm down to get the stuff done that needs to be done. That was a total game changer for us when we learned about that. What shocks me is that we didn't know about it until someone told us, oh, hey, did you know you could do that? So sometimes asking questions at appointments, asking questions in your community can really help find resources that can help you and your care recipient get some things done that are hard to avoid but difficult to do. Last of all, I would really strongly encourage you to take on board the idea of being kind to yourself. As a caregiver, you're doing a tough job. It's hard work, it's emotional work, it's physical work, it's unpaid work, but it's work. And you're often doing it on your own. You're often problem solving on your own. You're often muscling through the day without support and without assistance. And when days don't go the way they planned, it's not a failure on your part, it's just a tough day. So be kind to yourself. Remind yourself that this was today, tomorrow's a whole other day. Fresh, with no mistakes in it yet, as Anne Shirley from Anne of Green Gables used to say. Tomorrow is new, tomorrow is always better. And as a caregiver and in your relationship with your care recipient, tomorrow is always, always going to be a good day. So keep those things in mind. Always look forward to a better tomorrow. Please do reach out to us at Family Caregivers of BC. Reach out to our coaching support line. Caregiver support line is a wonderful resource to help you brainstorm in the moment, to help you find local resources and community opportunities. We also have some amazing resources on our website under the Learning Center in the Watch and Read sections of that center. And please do reach out if you need anything or any support or would like to share your own experience as a caregiver and how you navigate flexibility. We're always looking for that kind of input in our newsletters. We'd love to bring your story to light as a caregiver for other caregivers to read. All right, until next time, do take care. Enjoy the spring flowers as they begin to come up, and I wish you well. Goodbye.